Your voice, your opinion, your community. Fact TV, free speech, protected.
Local news, politics, business, sports, arts, music. Mike and Marty on the beat. Mike and Marty. Mike and Marty.
Good morning, Dallas, Falls, and Keene, and welcome to the feed. Today, it's Mike and Marty. It's the Mike and Marty show. We used to do this before. We don't happen to have a guest, but we'll talk about random subjects for a half hour and go from there. Did we start the timer?
Oh, the timer?
Because that could be an important thing today. We don't even have a timer.
I'm not sure where the timer is.
All right,
You'll have
we're going to count on Colin to help us out.
I was so worried about what we're going to talk about. We should just talk about how we time the show.
Yeah, that's a good thing. We always have a timer, and then 24 minutes or 25 minutes in, we bring the timer and we're done.
We let people know, because we do, when we have a guest, we actually usually get into a good conversation, and we want to make sure that we allow people to finish their storyline, really promote what they're here to promote.
Come up with a way that maybe if they want to get volunteers or donations or something, that they can get that information out.
So that we don't just cut them off.
Yeah.
But
anyway,
local events. So at the Bells Falls Opera House this week is Mean Girls, following the streak of remaking old movies.
It's so fetch, though.
Is that from Mean Girls?
Yeah. Remember, that was one of the things. Yeah.
I never saw the original Mean Girls.
Get out!
I know.
How could you not see that?
I know. And
it was actually one of those really quotable.
It was a quotable movie, and I'm curious because Tina Fey is the driver behind the new Mean Girls.
She was originally, too.
Oh, she was?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
She was originally, and then there was actually a Broadway play. I don't know if a Broadway musical called Mean Girls.
Okay, I'm just like, is this a parallel universe? Because you know about this, and usually it's me. It's parallel universe on the feed.
Well,
so the Broadway play was based on the
original movie. They made it a musical. And then they said, "Well, this is so good. Now we're going to make make a movie from the musical." So this is a musical movie.
Okay, so I did watch the trailer only, and that's what I thought I didn't remember about. Not that I'd seen the first one, but I didn't think there was, because there's definitely a whole musical layout to it. It reminds me of.
It reminded me of Barbie. I mean, it looks like. To me, it looks that it has that genre. Feel to it.
Yeah.
It's Wednesday. You're supposed to wear pink.
He really knows. This is okay. Wow. It's not just history. It's not. No,
it's one of those. Yeah, it's really pop culture. There was so many great lines. I'm sorry.
I can go into the classic movie this week is The Breakfast Club.
All right.
Now you're talking my language.
Your generation.
My language. Edward Jones is a sponsor. It is R-rated, so it's good to remind people of that. So it's a brain, a beauty, a jock, a rebel, and a recluse.
All right. That was a classic.
It was a classic movie. And I was trying to think, I almost think that I didn't ever see it on the big screen.
I don't think I did either. I think I saw it.
I think, and somebody can correct me if I'm wrong in my memory, I think that in that time frame when it came out, I don't remember if the Opera House was really operating as an opera house. I could be wrong. It seems like there was a period of time where we didn't have the front. The whole opera house needed to be renovated, and they had to get a screen, and I'm not clear on that. History gets a little fuzzy the older you get, but I think that was that period of time. So if you wanted to see it, you would have had to go Keene, Brattleboro, Springfield, or something like that. So I'm kind of excited to potentially see it on the screen tonight.
I mean, they're interesting movies in that they're cultural classics.
They are cultural classics. Yeah. Reminding everybody, I guess I had it wrong last week when I reported that on Friday night it's Martini and Keys at Popolo. I guess it's this Friday night.
Oh, okay.
I guess I was a week ahead of myself. That it's Martini and Keys at Popolo. It's in the lounge. Daniel McNamara will be the jazz musician that will be playing piano, while you can sample a variety of their martinis. Yes. And they have a nice selection of martinis down there. I was trying to, because I knew we didn't have a guest, so I was trying to look for some there's not a lot of happening out there for local events.
Well, I think it's that time of year. People
It
are
is that
cocooned in. They're out of the holidays. It's snowing, and they're not to the next level.
We're not quite to the holiday,
Yeah.
like Valentine's Day yet. Then we kind of get into spring. I did see that somebody posted on Facebook yesterday, is this the 45th day of January? I thought that was funny.
I've been thinking that same thing. It's like January is as long as July,
November and December.
October, November, December. Whoa.
So, anywho, this Saturday at Next Stage down in Putney, and it's sponsored by Next Stage and Cooperman's Frame Drums. Everyone, if you don't know where Cooperman's is that little factory as you're headed just out of
Here,
North Westminster on 121. Yeah. They're sponsoring a Middle Eastern and Eastern Mediterranean percussion style and techniques free workshop.
Wow.
So I thought that was kind of intriguing,
Yes.
something different, and something that has a good local connection, because those frame drums that you see that gentleman holding, that's what Cooperman's makes.
Oh, see, I always thought they made those rope tightened.
Well, I think
marching
any kind of, I
drums.
think they do.
Yeah.
And didn't they used to be called Cooperman's Fife and Drum?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
But I think so apparently they've changed to frame
that's
drums, because
interesting.
maybe there's not
Yeah.
as much of a call for that kind of drum
we should
anymore.
maybe scoot out there and get them in and do
Have them come in and talk about what
Yeah.
they do now. Yeah, I mean, they've been there for a long time, and it's kind of one of those places, what do they do there? Anyway, so that's the free workshop. And then that evening, there will be a concert with this gentleman that's doing the free workshop.
Oh.
So I wanted to, as I was looking through to find events, I was trying to find something that was at least something that was free, a free event for folks. And just to, find something to do around, and it's an afternoon, or you can stay for the concert. I think the concert tickets were like $25. And then Saturday night, there's, so I'm sure people are familiar with Allison's Orchards.
Yes.
And Allison's Orchards was recently purchased, and now Allison's is operating what they're calling the Orchard Tavern.
Oh.
So I think they're trying to make it a year-round operation. So where they normally they're in the space that they would do weddings and catering events,
It's
they're
gonna be
they're
like a
making it.
restaurant?
It's a restaurant. They've redone the bar, so you can actually go into the bar, and there's stools, and you can sit at the bar, and there's a TV. So the actual room is the same. Like, they haven't cordoned off the room. The room is the same. They have a little pellet fireplace in the center, but they're doing they do a like a pub menu, and then they're having music, and then they're having events. So this Saturday night they're actually having a comedian come.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Oh.
Because it's a big space.
Yeah,
So
it is
I
a
mean,
big
a lot of
space.
times you go
That's
somewhere,
like where
and
the empty
it's
bowl goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and you go and there's someone, but it's like really packed. They've got a really big space. So the comedian starts at 8:30. Tickets are $25. The comedian's name is Rob Steen, and you can go early for dinner, or you can go just for the actual show, and then they'll have some appetizers available for purchase, and then the full bar will be open. We've gone and we've had the food, and the food's very good. I guess this chef is, if I understand the story correctly, he's someone that used to have a food truck. So if you're into smash burgers,
Oh, interesting. I'm into
some
smash
really
burgers.
good
Yeah,
smash
really good.
burgers.
Oh, nice.
So it's just kind of another place to go. Just one more place. It's as we have 45 days of January. Sometimes just the idea of going someplace different.
Yeah.
So that's and doing something different. That's what I was thinking about when I was trying to find local events. And so that's what I have for list
Yeah.
of local events.
That's great. Well, a sort of a local event is Fact TV is now streaming basketball games. Have you seen that at all?
I knew that they were doing it, and I knew that they actually have them on the site and on the television channels. Correct?
Yeah, they're on Facebook. They're on the two channels, 182 Comcast and 1082 on Comcast and 172 on VTEL, and you can watch the basketball games live.
Nice. That's
So-
a nice service.
Yeah, it is. So if you check that out, if you're watching on one of the online things, there's a donate button. You can donate money.
So if you go to the Fact TV website,
Oh, the website.
that's where you can see the basketball games. I think if we listen to Alex correctly, you click on news, and then it'll take you to the games.
Uh-huh.
And then there's right on the front page of the new website, there's a donate button.
And why would people want to donate?
Because things like streaming a basketball game live cost money, and it's not
Oh.
money that like lines the
not
pockets of Fact
free?
TV. It's money that they have to have someone working
to
to
have
do that.
someone
They have
do
someone
it, yeah.
like holding the camera and doing the. I just. It
Yeah,
involves
it's
involves
an
payroll.
activity.
It involves paying people to do something. It doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't just like when there's events that people want filmed, and when there is a certain cost to that because you have to pay someone to film. Occasionally, maybe someone donates their time, but
Yeah.
generally speaking, you have more of a likelihood of finding someone to cover an event if you're paying them.
That's right. And it's
the
not
cold
a
hard
lot.
cash. No, it's not a crazy amount.
But I guess the point I would make is if you like these things, if you
Mm-hmm.
like watching your basketball games live, it's sitting at home eating popcorn and maybe having an adult beverage.
Right, that you cannot have in the high school auditorium.
That's right. Maybe you'd want to say, okay, I'll give them some money to do
Yeah,
it
and it
because
can
it's
be
sort of cool.
$1, $5.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't. It's not like I think when people think of donations, they think in the
I usually
quantity.
think thousands of dollars.
I was gonna say hundreds, right? Okay. So, but you know, something
yeah.
like this, like if you know 5 different parents watching click that button and they donated $5 each, that's like
Yeah, that
half
would
the
cover-
cost, probably half the
yeah.
cost of somebody filming. So, it's just one more way to make sure that those events
Yeah,
happen,
really.
and that you know.
And to get more events.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you would like to have other games or other things.
And I mean, I know that there's always folks contacting Fact TV about, can you film this event? Can you film that event? And I think that Alex and his team does an amazing job at covering as many as they can.
Yeah.
But the more funding they have available to them to source it out to people that want to do this on the side to make. you
Well,
know,
then,
so
yeah, that's the other side of
then
it.
that makes it that it all works. It's a
Yeah.
way that it works.
Because it encourages people to then sit down and want to do the video. I mean, because if you some people were doing it for a while, were just doing like a little gig where
Mm-hmm.
they would film this or they'd film that and they'd make a little money on the side, and that was a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can't get those people, you can't cover the events, and then
Right, and if you
it
can't
also-
pay them, I think that's
yeah.
the thing. I think, you know, there are definitely some folks that volunteer to do it, but I think that's few and far between.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
generally, if you want to guarantee that something's going to happen, you need to pay someone, generally speaking.
makes sense.
So I don't know if we've talked a little bit about it, but there seems like just this week there's been an interesting swell. I don't know how else to use it. Swell, is that the
Swell is a good word. I like that.
tsunami? Maybe not quite a tsunami, but a swell
Or,
of promotion
yeah,
about Bells Falls, not coming from
Not coming from
us or the local
Who are doing it all
or the
the
town offices
Yeah,
or
yeah.
BIFTA or the
Yeah.
chamber.
And it's sort of an online presence. I've seen it.
An influencer, I think,
yeah.
per se. Yeah.
That's a good word, influence.
Wasn't that, like, that's what
Yeah,
they call
yeah.
them. If you're on Instagram and you have a lot of followers and I think that's the term. That's because that's actually what I've seen. It's a new like career goal
to be an
of
influencer,
teenagers
yeah.
to
Exactly.
be influencers.
To make money by influencing other people. But anyway, back to this is called Rocket in Vermont. The one I saw was called Rocket.
That's the one
And
I
it
saw
was-
shared out. Yep.
It was amazingly well done, and it even, here I live here. I promote this. It was really well done, and it really brought me back to, I haven't been there in a while.
Yeah.
Maybe I should check that out.
I always think it's interesting, and we've probably talked on this before, that the lens that folks from the outside look at the town with is way different than the lens of some of us local, because we take a lot for granted.
Yeah,
I mean, even
yeah.
me, and like you just said. So if you haven't seen the video, you can actually go on Facebook. You can just look up Rocket in Vermont and scroll through. I mean, this isn't the only town he promotes. He promotes a lot of different things, but it was just interesting to, he's enthusiastic. He was knowledgeable about the different places he was
had
promoting.
clips from all the places, and it was really quite
And
good.
I know there was at least one comment and like he missed some things, and he said, "Oh well, next time I'll try to, you know." So to his credit, he covered a lot, but there's like a lot more. He did one, I think, on. He also did something about Hetty Green.
I didn't
About
see that.
Hetty Green being here. There was a
Yeah.
video because I think I went through his page,
Mm-hmm.
and so there's two promos for Vermont. And then after that, it's probably the way the algorithms work on Facebook is all of a sudden travel. He also did a video. I don't know which came first, the chicken or the egg, the rocket in Vermont or hers, but she also did a video of downtown Bells Falls, similar type thing. And then she did a little video about the kissing bridge up at the Vermont Country Store.
Oh, I saw both of those. That's
So it's just, I find it's kind of cool because, they both have a lot of followers. So there's just that much more potential for people to come in to town and to visit. And, whether we like it or not, we need that tourist.
We do. We live on that.
We do.
But it was, I guess, to me, it was interesting because it was like, wow, this place is really cool. It was, and it was just, it was that.
Well, it's kind of funny because,
like you said, it's the lens of the outsider.
Yeah.
The things that we drive by every day, they were like, oh, look at this. It was great.
And I was thinking as I was watching it, I was thinking, okay, well, we like to do the kind of travel around. I think we like to do the travel like a local type thing. In a lot of places, we'll go to a lot of like surrounding towns, and we'll be looking for the kinds of things that he was highlighting here.
Yeah.
The coffee shops and the cool little ice cream shop / burger place. We were just driving to somewhere. We were headed down to Northampton and East Hampton on Saturday. We were going down Route 5, and there's a cool little ice cream shop / Dairy Joyish kind of place. And we thought, got to remember that for next summer. So things that we look for when we travel around are a lot of exactly what he was highlighting here.
Yeah. And an interesting thing on he was at the Dairy Joy and he talked about it, and it was out front and it was closed. So he must have filmed this like really recently. But then he had clips of it in the summer. I was pretty amazed.
Yeah, I wondered about that. I wondered if what's his process? Does he really plan? Does he make sure he plans? He finds an area, scopes it out, figures out what he wants to highlight, gets those. I guess it's just because this is kind of sort of what we do. Get that B-roll, and then he creates the live portion of it where he's actually there and he cuts from this location to that location. And it looked like, do you think it was done with an iPhone? Do you think he just had one other person with an iPhone?
I think he had somebody with an iPhone. I'm guessing that because
or
that
like
seems
a full
like so
camera
popular.
setup. Okay, I know that's the thing that most people, they can do amazing things now. So, but so if you haven't seen it, check it out for sure. And maybe
like and
hit like and share
sponsor and share and
all those things. So maybe he will come back and hit the other. We have a lot of other history here in town. I mean, look at the whole it's the little poet. Is it the poet seat? That little garden that you walk around down past Flatiron when you go down, you go past the railroad tracks and that whole area down there
with the labyrinth.
The labyrinth. That's the word I'm looking for.
Okay.
That's the word I couldn't spit out. I wasn't grabbing it. No. I know poet seat has been used down there too, but the labyrinth and that whole area, that's a whole nother hidden gem. In Bells Falls, there's lots of little hidden places. So maybe we all should start looking at it through the lens of tourists and outsider and kind of,
especially this time of year when you're looking for something to do. Maybe just look downtown. Yeah.
So,
the other thing we need to bring up is town meeting.
Yes.
Because it's one of those things that comes up and you never expect it, and then 3 people decide on the budget for the next year.
And it's kind of one of those traditions that, we are in the video age. We're in the hybrid meeting age. But it's kind of one of those, I don't know. And I think this has come up a lot of times at the meeting for the people, and the people that go make the decisions. But that it's a tradition that's it's sad to lose it. Yeah. Because it's a tradition where people get to, it's I guess it's like really democracy in action on a local level.
Democracy in action.
I mean, we for years ran the microphones for. I think you said the town just did a survey, like why?
Yeah, they were doing a workshop of how to attract more people to town meeting.
First of all, put the date of the town meeting on the website
one of
like
those-
weeks in
also
advance.
advertise the workshop a little bit better. I
Because
mean,
we were trying to figure out the date. I'm pretty sure it's the 26th. It's usually the Monday. You said that official
well,
Vermont
the
town
official
meeting.
town meeting day, I think, for Vermont this year, I was just looking it up this morning, is February 24th.
And that's a Saturday, which some towns,
Which
a lot
most
like
towns
Westminster
do,
does
yeah.
theirs on a Saturday. Traditionally, Rockingham would do theirs on the Monday night. So I would say
Yeah,
it would be the
Monday night
26th
and the two-
with
yeah.
voting on the 27th.
Yes.
And we're hoping that within the next couple of weeks we can strong arm Scott Pickup to come in and to
Yeah,
talk
it'd be
about.
nice just to, like, I would like to know sort of what happened at the meeting. What ideas did people have to make it more popular, you know? And then
I know it's been hard because there's a lot of discussion about the fact that it is in the evening, so it's hard for people that have families and kids, and it doesn't start till so you have the school board and then the town, or the town and then the school board, however they
Right,
alternate
right,
it.
yes.
So sometimes
So it
potentially the meeting's not starting until 7.
can be very long.
And it can go till, I think the latest, I think we've gone past 10 a couple times.
Yeah, I think so.
When there was
I
a lot of
wanted to say
articles and a
11.
lot of debate. So there's that. There's that component.
And then the other, well, and something that I'm becoming more and more aware of is driving at night.
You are not kidding.
Is just really, especially in the winter and downtown, is sort of scary sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And not in that it's just people are moving around and they're hard to see.
They're hard to see, and I think I've heard that from a lot of folks, and anyone that's 20 watching us, if there even is anyone
Yeah, we
20,
don't even
they
wanna
don't get
hear
it. You just get to a certain
We
age
don't wanna
and
hear
you just become more cautious. It becomes more of a barrier.
Yes, it does. And
And-
so fewer people are
yeah.
going to go, especially if
Yeah.
they're, if they're worried about, driving around and hitting somebody.
So hopefully we can get Scott to come in and at least, so that people can, if they're not going to go to the meeting, they can come in, they can be informed about what, oh, awesome. We have talked to almost 3 minutes left. They can find out what the articles are and then
Yeah.
make an informed choice whether they want to try to get to the meeting. And I don't know if they're offering a hybrid version. I think they have in the
Oh, really?
past.
I don't know.
I'm not sure either. I know that one year because they did it in the lower theater, and they did offer a hybrid version. But if you do it in the upper theater, I don't think
Yeah.
you can. Well, I guess you could, but you'd really have to work to move all the equipment upstairs.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Anyway, we're down to about 2 minutes. I would like, if you do get Scott on it, the other thing that I would be interested in is him talking about the traffic pattern. I know he's concerned about that, and there was a recent fatality downtown, and I had thought things had slowed down, but it doesn't seem like it has.
no, it's interesting since that fatality. I guess I always was I'm always in a 90% of the time I'm in a crosswalk when I walk, and I do look both ways, and I look again and I look again. But sometimes people fly. I've now that I'm paying a tiny bit
Yeah,
more
yeah.
attention, I'm like, wow. And then myself, even sometimes I get distracted. I'm headed through town. I'm like, wait a minute, I gotta like really
Yeah, slow
it
down.
down.
And then be aware that, because some of the crosswalks, they're in sort of places that you might not think there would
Right,
be a
and
crosswalk.
I think there was some talk I saw somewhere about there's at least one town in the state that really paints them a totally different color, like fully paints them, not just stripes. So that
Yeah.
might be a simple solution, but I would love to, if we can get Scott on and have
Yeah,
a further
that'd be
discussion,
good.
because I think it's pertinent.
Well,
Where are we
we-
at with time now?
we-
We're good? Okay,
we're
we can
managed
wrap.
to-
Colin's like, wrap it up.
Wrap
I'm
it
sick
up.
of listening
He's
to you.
bringing in the hook. Anyway.
Well, so if you have something you want to promote, please reach out to us. We try to reach out to as many people as we can and get variety in, but I'm sure we're missing somebody. I'm sure there's somebody that would love to come on. Please
Yes.
reach out to FACT, or you can email me at my work email address, which is greater.rock@gmail.com, and we will get you on the show.
Yeah, thank you. And that's it for this week. We'll see you next week.